Okay, guys. Without wasting any time, let me introduce our next interviewee. His name is Njabulo, but he's gonna just explain most things. And what. Sir, can you just please introduce us to you, your name, and then tell us exactly what you do for a living in 2020?
Thank you, my brother, and thank you for this platform. Igama Njabulo Masuku.
Yes, sir.
I am an air quality scientist.
But air quality scientist. Wait. So, sir, I want them to hear air quality scientist. I've never heard of such a career in my life, and I've been breathing air for as long as I'm alive. Sir, what does an air quality scientist? I'm sure it speaks for itself, but what does an air quality scientist do?
Okay, so in short, we are voting no more. Clean.
English, sir. Those ones.
Okay. Yes. Apologies.
Yes, sir.
Air quality, in a nutshell, we live in an earth where we share with industries, we share with motor vehicles, and we share with all these activities that keep us going as people. So it's important that the air we breathe is somehow clean or in a good way, that when we inhale that air, we are not inhaling polluted air, such that we'll end up being sick or getting infected. Just like the situation of COVID now. Yes,
I was about to get to that, because you're in COVID now. Like, your job is literally one of the important jobs that is happening right now, which is why I wanted us to have a talk about what you do.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me, how did you even find out about the air quality? I'm sure, bro, you were at some stage, you were a kid in high school. I'm sure you wanted to be a rapper, like most of us, and a musician. Then how did air quality, how did you even look? Did you know about the career? How did you get introduced to it?
Okay, let me just go back to Matric.
Matric, yes, sir.
So that I build a very nice story to adding up how I ended up in air quality. I mean, in Matric, at school, I knew I was good. I was doing very well at school. But then, when I was at Matric, I didn't even think about, going to university the following year. Any child in a township or in areas where we come from, I wanted to be a soccer player. So when I completed my Matric in 2004, I took a gap year in 2005, and then I relocated from Fright to Durban. Because I was I did my Matric in Dawinitwa Emondlo, which is near Fright, not a KZN, yes. So I relocated to Durban. In Durban, I took a gap year 2005, and I was working while trying to pursue soccer. They had Soccer Kings. I actually went there for we used to call them Mama Trials. I went there, but then I was not successful. And then I tried playing for Manning Rangers reserve team. During that, trying to find myself and trying to make it in soccer. Unfortunately, I had an injury on my ankle. Yeah. So then my mother told me, and my mother said, "Ntanam, we are born with soccer. Fix it now." That's when I started thinking about, because I knew that I had good grades in Matric. That's when I started thinking about, going to university. And then I applied to two universities, University of KwaZulu-Natal and University of Zululand. And I was accepted at University of Zululand to study a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. When I got there, when I got there to study Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, when I got there, I realized that maths was just going to be too much for me. And then, because, when I was doing Matric, we're not exposed to, career guidance, what sort of career to follow.
Stuff like this, what you do now.
Yes. Exactly. But I've always had an interest in atmospheric science in a way. When I got to, where we capture, where we register at the hall, and where they capture what sort of modules, they call them modules we'll be doing. I just asked the person who was doing that, can I switch from maths to do atmospheric science? And that person said, yeah, no problem, go ahead. And then I switched, and yes.
Oh, that's how you did. So you knew about it before, but you weren't really pursuing it up until you got to the desk and say, okay, now this is the life and death.
Exactly. I actually changed my mind when I realized that maths was just going to be too hectic, and I was not really sure if you do maths, what we then do. after maths, what do you do? What is your career? And back then, like I said, you're still young, you're coming from university, you haven't even done so much research. And unfortunately, I was not in a school where, they just, with other schools, when you're doing the trip, they come and then they tell you, these are possible careers if you're doing these certain subjects. But unfortunately, at my school, we're not exposed to that. And even the time I finished my matric. So so then when I did atmospheric science, that's where really opportunities started to open up for me. I was very fortunate to get a bursary. Bursary from South African Weather Service.
So you also got a bursary as well?
Yeah, but you did.
Yes, but you did say that your matric results were awesome. Like you had like great matric results. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yes, matric was good to do any degree or to be accepted by any university in the country. Okay,
cool. So now, you get, then how does it work? Like, how does it work? First of all, how long did it take you to complete? I don't know, maybe right now you have a master's or an honors. How was the first, because I'm sorry, in university you get a degree. How long was the degree first?
The degree was 3 years. I did my degree, and then I had to do my honors also at the University of Zululand, in Zululand, UniZulu. So my honors was an honors in geography when I was there. And then because I had a contract with the Weather Service, remember, with the contract, they told us that, after completing your degrees, you have to come and work for us, for the period we funded your studies. And then by that time, I also got an offer at the University of Department of Geography, for a junior lecturer of some sort, provided that I was going to register a master's. So then I didn't accept that offer because I knew that I had a commitment, a legal commitment with South African Weather Service. Yes. After finishing my honors in 2010, I then relocated to Pretoria. I became an intern at South African Weather Service and then under climate research. I was very fortunate. I didn't even finish the year. You're supposed to the internship program, it should be a year before you join the mainstream. I was very fortunate. I was employed by another section now called Air Quality. Remember air quality. Like I said, air quality. I'll just use the language that we all understand. Air quality. We're much more interested in the air that we breathe, but it goes further than that. And then there's a constitution that, of course, that protects us or gives us this right of breathing this clean air. So air quality air quality was a new thing to me, but then I understood that because we are scientists and we're dealing with data, I'm sure, and we're also looking at the atmosphere. So, but joining air quality, I didn't understand the legislation. I mean, the background of how the Act and the Constitution, informs what we do on the ground. So, can I still continue? Or?
I'll continue, but we're listening. We have you. This is you right now. Yeah, continue listening. Yes.
Thank you, my brother. So then, 2012, beginning of 2012, I was now permanently employed under Air Quality Unit. That's where my career of Air Quality really started. And then Air Quality for me opened so many doors because what we did, we had machines, deployed across the country where we think air pollution is too much. And the way we think air pollution is too much is where we have, agglomeration of industries, where industries are together. We would put those things, because the idea, we want to protect people to make sure that they breathe the air which is clean, and the air that they breathe is not harmful to exactly is. And of course there are standards that are there to guide the limit, sort of like a limit level, that if air pollution is here, then it's not allowed, and then if air pollution is above that, and of course it's not allowed. And industries, of course, are also allowed to pollute to a certain extent of the license, and those licenses, we call them atmospheric emission licenses. So industries are, of course, regulated because they need to make business. And also air quality comes from cars, traffic. We drive every day, we use cars. I mean, some of it is also natural. You get a lot of air pollution from things like canola, hay fever, and so forth. So it's a nice subject. It's a nice somehow discipline also to pursue. It's pretty much, I think, new in South Africa. Not necessarily new, but a lot of people are not familiar with air quality. So that's why I think for someone young out there to pursue this career, it will be so interesting because of opportunities. And it's always nice also to be part of something which is not popular as yet, because you learn and you grow.
A lot, yes, that's true. That's true. Like, which is the whole point of this thing, because like I've never heard of your career. That's why I'm just like, I want to take everything in, because I've never heard of it. I've never even thought it exists. You know what I mean? Because I come from KZN. I was working in Skawini, whatever. And then there's Richards Bay, where they have industries there.
Exactly.
In my head now, I'm thinking, so those guys were regulated as well. I didn't know this thing existed. So I'm guessing you guys deal with those guys once they overextend in terms of, because they make paper. Let me just use them, those industries, and just I'm not a name of them. They make paper. So it would stink up the air. So you guys will come and say, hey guys, it's a bit too stinky now. Can you please just tone it down a notch and whatnot? Oh, that is so dope, bro. That's so dope. So tell me,
you're right.
Okay, like right now, where are you working right now? If you can say, if you can't, it's fine. If you can.
Okay, right now I'm working for eThekwini municipality.
In Durban. Nice boy.
I'm in Durban.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I left Pretoria, I went to Cape Town. Pretoria, I was there for 5 years. Cape Town 4 years. And then last year, back in Durban, back to my home province. Also, it's good to be here. It's good to be back.
That's good.
So I'm back in Durban, but also still doing air quality. Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool. So how is that journey? How are you finding? Well, Durban is an amazing place. Let's start off with that. Durban is an amazing place. I'm happy for you, bro. But how are you finding the job, the challenges? What are the challenges that like you guys face like on a day-to-day basis, or M7 in general?
I think I'll speak, in context with our work, and in particular issues that, in Durban, of course, if you're familiar with Durban, you'll understand the South Durban Basin, the areas of Jacobs, Wentworth, Bluff, driving in the south, and you understand that there's some element which I didn't explain about air quality. Air quality also, not just air quality. I'm talking about now zoning of areas. You have residential zones, and then you have industrial zones, and then you have agricultural zones, and so forth. What is happening at Bluff, because of our history as a country and the old regime and the current regime, is that people found themselves living adjacent to these industries. And then these industries, engine, all of them, Supref, they were previously in a zone which was an industrial zone. But then also the previous regime allowed people to live in vicinity to those industries, of which now we understand that activities of industries in their nature, they trigger air pollution. So people now people are now exposed to air quality. So those are challenges that we are currently faced with, as the city, because we need to regulate air quality, and also we are an authority that we should, advocate for cleaner air. And of course, the Constitution does say that everyone has a right to environment that is not harmful to their health or well-being. So we need to protect people. So those are challenges that we have, where we try to come in between, solving, issues with people living adjacent to industries, and also industries, by their licenses, are allowed to pollute to a certain extent, as long as they don't exceed that limit or threshold. But then, other than that, it has been good in Durban to do what we do, because, air pollution, it's a new subject to you, but you understand that it's also influenced by weather conditions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So in winter, you expect more air pollution because of the situation in winter. In winter, I'm not sure if you've ever driven if you look, or if you've ever been in a hill,
yes,
and then you just look far ahead and you think there's a cloud, or you can't see that something is trapped.
Yes.
At a distance, it's actually air pollution.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it.
But yes, it's air pollution in winter. So you get these things, we call them temperature inversions. It's like a layer from the surface where we are walking to about 1 kilometer or so. If you go up vertically with the atmosphere, yes, it traps air pollution. So in winter, because there's not much dispersion, there's just this turbulent circulation happening in between. That's where you get a lot of what we call now exceedances. Now this air pollution will be too much, and then it will exceed the standards, and then that's where that's where those are one of challenges that we encounter with air pollution in general. In summer, it's okay because in Durban, we know we get our rainfall in summer. In summer, rain is well known for cleaning air pollution. So it's okay like now, but now already we'll be going to winter. We're just blessed to have these winter rainfalls, happening now because of these cold fronts bringing in moisture. But when we approach July, we should expect more elevated air pollution concentrations. So those are challenges, but we can't do anything because that's like natural. But it is good for an awareness. Yes.
Okay. So tell me now, a person, I skipped over this question. Going back, just to rewind a bit before we conclude our interview. Which subjects did you actually study in university? In high school? Because this is where the problem starts. You study, like for instance, I don't think you will study economics and then you end up doing this thing. You'll have to study things alongside geography and stuff. Which subjects did you study in high school?
It's a very good question, my brother. In fact, I was supposed to tell you, I see a lot of the curriculum, post our time somehow is a little bit changing. But then when I was doing my matric, I did what we call stream A science, physical science, mathematics, geography, and there was also biology and languages.
Okay.
Yes, with those subjects, I think if I didn't do them, they were more like a prerequisite for me to even be accepted to do Bachelor of Science in Maths at varsity. Ultimately, I ended up doing Bachelor of Science in Atmospheric Science. But I think if I didn't do those subjects, I had to really revise my career or try and fine-tune what I wanted to study. So it's very important for someone doing matric now to be careful with the selection or choices of subjects, because they will really... Yes.
Yeah, because the problem doesn't start exactly in matric. It starts a bit like a couple of years before you even... Because by the time you're in matric, they're almost saying you're ready to... I don't know if it's changed now, but when I was in high school, I chose the subjects I chose at grade 8. Then I grew. Then I basically matriculated with those subjects. So now the problem is not even with matric. Matric is almost like too late. Not too late, but it's like, hey, you almost out of there, so you can't really like now change in the middle of this thing. So the problem starts with grade 8 when they're getting into when they choose the subjects and whatnot. As far as I know, I may be wrong in 2020, but as far as I know, that's where the things cut. So we're trying with what you're saying right now. The kid who's watching this right now, because I want this thing to really impact them as they're entering the high school phase, to know, hey, when I'm doing my research on what I'm going to do, hey mom, hey dad, there's this thing, I'm going to be doing this thing once I've graduated. Because it helps with planning as well. That's another thing, like planning. It also helps. Another thing that I want kids to be able to do, to plan. Don't just get there now. It's like, ish. Because we see it a lot. But you were lucky. You actually were very lucky because you got into university and you changed your mind in the desk. Some people, they will do it and they never graduate. And then they end up going home. After 6 months, you do this thing. 4 years, you never graduated. You university for 10 years and so on and so forth. So, like, I really wanted us to touch on the thing, on choosing the right subjects in high school, when you're entering high school, so that as you progress with your education, you pretty much have an idea of the sorts of careers that you can do.
You're absolutely right, my brother, and you're correct. Even myself, I chose my subject at grade 10. I mean, at grade 10, not 8. But then, then, I was very young. I was not even sure what I was going to do after matric. It's very difficult when you're very young, and you're right that sometimes you end up, pursuing your own career. Or we are people later on in my life. I want to pursue another career, or I realize that I actually like something else, which is not in line with what I've studied. And another thing which I wanted to say about this career, which we're doing now of air quality. Remember, with air quality, it involves a lot of monitoring because you need to deploy machines to the field, and so that you get this data or these numbers, and then you can then research them and do whatsoever with it.
You froze.
Sorry about that. In doing that, what you need is...
Sorry. You ended whatsoever with it and then you froze. Let's just pick it up from there.
Okay. So...
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
hear me now, sir? Yes, it's...
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was saying, in what you do in air quality, it's not just you doing 9 to 5. Like myself, I've been I've been in air quality now for, I would say, 9 years now. But then I've realized that there's actually business and I'll say it straight, and what people are making a killing out of it, because
really,
all this, I'm telling you, because all these machines that you have to use or deploy in the field, there are certain requirements or needs that they need to be controlled in a certain way. Like, for instance, they need to be calibrated, they need to be serviced. Yes, they need to be serviced. And also there are many things that you have to do, with routine, so that you adhere to what the world is doing, or as recommended by international standard of organizations, ISO, they call them ISO. So then I picked that later, that is actually business. And a lot of businesses or business people in air quality, they are making a lot of money. And industries also, when you see those big things, the chimneys where you see all that air pollution coming out, those things, they call them stack. There's a killing also in there, because that's where you need to go and test what is getting out, and also check their systems if they are, doing what is required or stipulated on the license. And it's something which I think, as African people or black people, we need to really come into that business. When I joined, I thought I was just joining, just to work. But then within that, you learn, and then you realize that it's actually more. That's why I'm saying that I did science, but now I realize that probably I need to understand how to manage a business, because yes, I'm in a business where I see there's a potential. If one were to say, I'm tired of doing it now, let me start something of my own. It's very important. I mean, yes, it's very important. Even things that we do, I deal with data. When you deal with data, there's a lot of programming that you have to do, and mathematical programming. I was very fortunate that I worked for the weather service. I was exposed to programming languages like Python, Fortran, MATLAB. All these things are very good, because you learn a lot of things that when you're at work, you see organizations spending so much money for skills that you have, and that's business. And I think, given these times we live in now, our mindset should be there.
Wow, bro.
Yes,
like you really.
Yes.
No, I'm just saying, I'm taking the information in. I'm learning a lot. It's like I'm just
very important. I always say, just like plumbers. If you're a plumber, maybe you had matric, even if you don't have matric, but you've been exposed to that business, why not try your own? Because you know the job, you do it, and there's money in plumbing. I'm just saying, it's something which I see with us. I mean, black people working for organizations until we retire. It's not a way of. It's good to work. It's good to work, but also if you see opportunities with your talent or skills, then it's okay also to try something or get out of 8 to 4 type of work, especially in careers where we as black people, we're not in there and we see that there is money. Like when we were talking about Richards Bay, I know very well, because I understand how they do things there also. There's serious money in this business. And then our people, they need to learn about the business. And also especially as people who are part of this business. And also just think, one day vula company and start giving these services. That's the only way equality will be well known, or people will, more awareness, or, more exposure. Like you were saying now, I mean, even myself, when I have to tell people what I do for a living, when I say, I do air quality, then you have to speak in a language that someone will understand. You don't want to go into details and explain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but the way you're explaining it is very good. It's very articulate, because like Zulu city or because now I didn't know about it. Now I'm thinking, I'm like, hey, plus that's how you have money, but now you don't have this degree or diploma or this guy, but now you can't do anything now. Now you're screwed now, you know what I mean? But like, brother, no, thank you. So tell me something. Advice you can give to people who want to get into this industry, Njabulo, just to shape their minds. Like, because as in is some of the things, it goes with character. Like for me, I really enjoy presenting. I could never do what you do, so I had to find a way of I need to do a career call, and I find a way of doing it like this, and then find a way of editing it, do the videos, because that's the thing, the media thing. I like that, I like that part of actually doing the practical work. So I have a certain mindset. So for me to even think about this thing, I have a certain mindset. What kind of a mindset can a person prepare themselves to be, okay, I can really go into this industry and make a killing, and just be good at it, whether I'm opening my own business or I'm studying it and whatnot and whatnot, Jack?
Yeah, very important, Sam, to follow your heart and your passion. Sometimes, we get our parents or our mentors pushing us to do things that ideally are not for us. You don't feel like doing something like that. That's why you'll do a certain degree and then get it, and then you lose interest after. I always say, the sky is not the limit; it's just a view. If you think you have a talent, why don't you fine-tune your education to speak to your talent?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but specifically to answer your question, if you want to pursue my career, you need a strong understanding of science and maths. Those should be your basics, because you'll be dealing with a lot of things that will need some calculation and some also application of science, and in particular university first year, second year type of science towards your career. But then the possibilities within this career are endless. Like I said, you can start at the junior level, because air quality is somehow new in the country, and we know that a lot of industries are polluting. And in fact, something which I have to say now, in all municipalities in the country, there's something which we called an IDP, Integrated Development Plan. IDP. Okay. It's a 5-year plan that all municipalities they use to, if the municipality they don't include a certain project in their IDP, or in other words not funded, that project won't be done. So air quality by municipal systems, chapter 5, it is required to be there. They call it air quality management plan. It must be there. Okay. And then all municipalities, they need to appoint, it doesn't matter, 3 spheres of government, national, provincial and local, but we're talking about local municipalities. All of them, they need to appoint air quality officers. It says a lot. Okay. And in our province, there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. People need to be appointed, meaning that jobs needs to be created, and then more quality. People
jobs, there's lots of jobs. I'm very, very shocked. I'm surprised, because I thought it was one of those niche industries that maybe like 10 people in the country work in, and then you walk around and then you do that. But it sounds like a lot of like employment opportunities is what you do.
It is serious, because the environment, we live in an environment which is changing. Climate change and all these things are creeping in. So it's important that we also plan and we prevent some of these things, and we try and adapt or mitigate if we can. But air pollution, it's a new thing in our country, and it's coming. It's coming. More awareness is coming. You see, more awareness is coming with air pollution, and you'll see later when you see people burning, then you'll understand that when people burn, they trigger air pollution in a way.
Yes, sir. They burn all the time. We burn all the time. Yeah. Wow, brother. Thank you very much, my brother, because I don't want to make these videos long, because you know how people are, they have things to do, but I want them to get to you got to the point, you touched the nitty-gritties. It's up to a person now, when they bump into this video, say, let me do more research for myself now so I can understand better, because you can't spoon-feed people everything. At some stage, you need to apply yourself as a young person to get to the next level, bro. Anything you want to say to the people who are interested in studying air pollution before you go?
First thing first, thank you for this opportunity, my brother. Wow, I really appreciate this platform. Anyone wanting to study air pollution, please, guys, go ahead. Like I said, possibilities are endless. There's so much more to be done. It's exciting. It's an exciting career. And what is nice is that no one is an expert of this field. We all learning.
Yes.
We all learning.
So it's just starting.
Exactly. Yes, it is. In fact, the legislation which talks about air quality was, promulgated in 2004.
How?
Yeah,
that is new.
Yes, the old one was there. The old one was repealed because the old one was part of the old regime. It didn't worry much about, certain things that were affecting certain people. So, but the new one now speaks to all South Africans. So that's why I'm saying that if you want to pursue air quality, it's a nice career, and you'll earn a living and have a good life out of air quality.
Exactly, bro. Like being it's nice to be like musicians and be DJs and be soccer players and all these things, but at some stage we need to think about the future, because we can see even right now, like, because we can see right now, wow, man, like some of the careers that people are doing, not that they're bad, it's just that if we are all doing the same thing, we can't all be musicians, we can't all be soccer stars, we can't all be
DJs.
Yeah, there's people who need to work and spread their wings and fly, my brother. No, thank you very much. Brother, thank you so much. Let's wrap this thing up. Before you go into shutting us up, can you just say ratata career corner, ratata?
Ratata career corner, ratata.
Ratata, one nation, ratata.
Ratata, one nation, ratata.
Cut, my brother. Thank you so much. Cut. We're out.